we've got Bob Noxious here with the one, the only Smack Lamar. Smack, what's going on, bud?
I'll say this much, at least we're lucky there's only one of us. If there was more than one of me, the world would be a terrible place.
Don't be a silly man.
Never.
And
never.
we've got Team Finland up against Team Scotland. We're going to get kicked off right here. And here we have off the jammer line. It's going to be number...
Well, we've got Jenny Gow, number 1111 for Team Scotland. It looks like 156. I think that's Mia, MIA, for Team Finland. Jammer setting off MIA. Mia gets lead jammer out first. Jenny Gow still working hard, being held up at the front of the pack. Mia comes through out of nowhere, clears through. And we've got the first penalty issued of the game as well. Looks like 09 Simpsons taking a seat in the notorious RED penalty box.
And then we see MIA one more time. She's going to come up. She's going to try and fight her way through, and she's going to call it off.
Yeah, she sees Jenny Gow coming from just behind and thinks there's no point risking anymore. Just call the jam off and save yourself if you can.
Well, and realistically, this has the makings of the tightest bout we're going to see today.
It does. This could make or break this group as well. It's a really important game for both teams.
Absolutely.
And I mean, this literally does split the group apart, depending who comes away with the win here, Bob.
And I don't want to say that Scotland would be the underdog by any means, with the exception of the fact that Finland, finishing 5th in the first World Cup 3 years ago, is a formidable opponent.
Indeed they are. Well, here's someone who jammed well for Scotland in their first game earlier against Team Mexico. It's 210 Rogue.
Yeah, look at how tight that pack is.
It's just being held up. There is no give. Rogue's trying to find a gap. There's just nothing there.
I think they turned it up from chop to puree.
Yeah, definitely. That's, setting 1 to setting 5. There's just nothing. I mean, Rogue's trying her hardest. She's going to push and push and push at the front, but it's just nowhere to go. It looks like another penalty issued this time. I think it's Kerr for Team Scotland. Multiplayer block called there for her. Rogue is now through. She is on, she's coming through. She was on a scoring pass, but Team Finland doing the smart thing. They see the jammer coming again and just call the jam off.
Yeah, she leads with the elbow, calls it off.
Guiding through the sides. I mean, it's a lot easier to fit through some gap sideways than it is square on.
Well, and it's actually, at this point, it's a little almost amazing to me that we have seen a number of jammers that are still approaching the pack and want to go through basically with their shoulders flat to the backs of people, because it's not going to work.
No, it's the laws of physics. If there's a small hole, you have to be small to get through it.
Yep.
Just kind of like that. Relief for Team Finland. Says it all. Really through for third lead jammer in a row. It looks like that's number 5 AM Chaos for Team Finland. Lawless, on the other hand, for Team Scotland, F104, struggling through at the back. She spots a gap, tries to go for a small apex jump, missed, and just comes down on the inside. She's recycled back, looks about 20 feet further back from where she was when she actually went off track, unfortunately.
And powers her way through.
Switches up, the inside didn't work, I'll try the outside instead, finds a gap, makes it through.
Yeah, and like you said before, it was a twist to the shoulders, almost like placing a can opener in a can and prying it open.
Now, jamming this time for Team Scotland, it was someone who wasn't actually playing. It was someone who was been mixed into the roster for this particular game. They weren't rostered for the first 14 in the first game. It's number 28, Bianchi. It's Lauren Bianchi, for those who know her well. Or those who know her back home. Go with her full name instead. Why not?
And right now you're looking at well.
Oh, Mia right through the inside line, saw a gap that no one else could. Takes lead jammer once again for Team Finland. Bianchi, though, no slouch herself. She's out of the pack, straight through, determined she's going to hunt down the Finland jammer.
Yeah, she came in really hot into turn 1. Didn't find her way through. There, Karam's off a couple of players.
This time you can hear, you don't need us to tell you, you can hear the noise from the crowd. Bianchi goes through.
But a nice job by Scotland's defense of shoring up and stopping the bleeding immediately. We're looking at a score of 22 Finland, 4 for Scotland.
just short of 5 minutes gone in the first half so far as well. And this is a jammer I'm surprised to see, given that first game. Jenny Gow, she had to miss 4 or 5 jams in the middle of that game after taking a head knock, and is still fit enough to be back in jamming again in this game. That says it all about the testament of derby skaters these days.
And yeah, it didn't seem to slow her down any.
No, I'll give you that one. Away, clean through, lead jammer for the first time in this game for Team Scotland.
And
goes for the apex. Beautiful.
It's fun to see the excitement on her face when she sticks that. Even the Canadian judge has got to give that one a 10, my friend.
That has to be. To be fair, given that it's Scotland skating, I think even the English judge would give her a 10 for that one. Let's be fair. I'm not going to lie. It's the fact that when she lands, the tongue comes out, the hands hit the hips, and she's away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they say, go big or go home.
Yeah.
She went big, and she landed.
Well, this is the place to do it. This particular game, very important for both teams.
See Marshall Lawless again setting off there for Team Scotland, F104 jamming. For Finland, we've got number 5, AM Chaos. He's being held up at the back. McLean there, number 22, trying her hardest to hold Chaos as far back as she can. Lawless takes full advantage, cruises out round at the front, and the outside line takes lead jammer for Team Scotland.
And we still got the other jammer stuck back in the pack. The 2-wall up front, just proving to be that compactor scene from Star Wars, I think.
Definitely. It's McLean and Caitlin O'Carroll. I think they're number 87. Can't see her number. The jersey needs to squash that in somewhere. Chaos now powers her way out through the front. She completes her initial pass for Finland.
And there you see Lawless
recycled back to the other end of the universe before she can come back and try again.
Oh, nice move. That girl's got a little Walenda in her, my friend.
She can find spaces that no one else knew even existed.
Oh, don't go metaphysical on me.
Yeah. Well, Chaos is going to find that she has a bit of an advantage now. It is a power jam for Team Finland. Lawless now takes a seat in the notorious RED penalty box. You can see that 3-wall at the front. Kerr, McLean, and I think it's Caitlin O'Carroll trying so hard to hold Chaos back. Finnish blockers come in, try and work a bit of offense for her instead. Big hit right at the end.
Yeah, that's a smart move too. If she was the last line of defense, she gets her shoulder in there, drops her, moves right to the back.
I think that may be Bex, who is one of the smallest blockers in the World Cup that you'll see so far this tournament, and she hits bigger than anyone else I've seen so far.
Yeah, well, it's all about technique and leverage.
She's got the low center of gravity, and she uses it all she can.
Absolutely.
Still working hard. Looks like Caitlin O'Carroll now makes her way to the notorious RD penalty box.
And Scotland, they can't stop her, they can only contain her.
They can slow her down. Again, we've had, just short of 8 minutes played so far. Finland now leading 31 to Scotland's 13. It's almost a reversal of scores. The numbers are back to front.
Yeah. A palindrome of such.
That's the word I was looking for.
There we go.
See, this is why I need to work with you, is because you know the words. I know nothing else.
I know. I'm like the good guy to have around for Scrabble, I guess.
That works for me. I'm horrible at Scrabble.
And here we've got Rogue taking off.
Yeah, she's, again, that 2-wall at the front for Finland. They're just moving her back and forth, side to side. Now up to a 3. Rogue onto her toe stops, though. Runs around the outside line. Gets through. She has got lead jammer. Does the smart thing, runs the clock down, tries to give her team a chance to get to the front, try and protect the points at the back.
Yeah, and she almost did. Rogue looked to the bench looking for a signal to call off, and I think the coach may have felt, well, that's one we assume you're going to take.
We think you'll take it.
And by the time she turned her head back around, she almost gave up points.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily, timed it just right. It's like I've said numerous times in this. It's not always about how many points you score. It's about how many you don't concede.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no question about it. 1-0's a win every time.
Exactly. Looks like we've got Bianchi now back out jamming for Team Scotland. Through, keeps herself on track on the inside line. Just shrugged off a block. Gets through and takes lead jammer for Team Scotland. Oh,
nice move.
Small apex jump. It looks. Oh, she thought she'd landed it. She knew she'd missed. Tried to call the jam off from the floor, but the penalty had already been assessed to her. Bianchi now will take a seat in the penalty box. I think it's now a power jam for Team Finland.
Oh, man, look at Skinner working up front.
Skinner there again takes her off. Her and Little Carroll working strongly at the front to try and hold up Super Maria. Super Maria straight back in, and she just powers her way through. She drops that shoulder, turns her body, finds a gap, and just chips away until she can go.
Oh, look at that! Oh my God! It's like Wile E. Coyote knowing the cliff is going to come out from underneath.
The Roadrunner was waiting at the bottom to laugh, but unfortunately Super Maria didn't fall.
Yep, no Acme skates here.
No, Bianchi now back in play. She'll get recycled back again, just about 5 feet or so back from where she got knocked off track.
We got an illegal procedure call right there on Super Maria.
I think, do we have... Yeah, it looks like they tried to attempt a star pass. It didn't come off for Team Finland. Their pivot now has the star panty. I'm not entirely sure where she's put it, but she definitely had it in her hands. She definitely had it there, but they've passed it. It was an illegal star pass, I think, and as a result, we've now got a power jam for Team Scotland.
And a helmet panty we can't account for.
We don't know where it is. We will notify you when we find it.
Maybe.
Oh, there it is. It's in her hands now.
Yep.
All we need to know is where it is now.
Actually, well, yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's not about where it came from.
I saw an ingenious storage of it earlier. Someone tucked it into the sleeve, shall we say, of their shirt, and at least you know where it is. Yeah. If you can see it, you know it's not lost.
Well, and you hope that doesn't fall on the track.
Well,
it's got to be secure, man. And you are with Bob Noxious and Smacklemore. This is Finland versus Scotland.
Oh, she come through. She's landed. She did take lead at Jammer. I think that's Super Maria. She actually landed that small jump across the corner. She came racing out of the notorious RED penalty box onto the track, takes the jump. She's through and gets lead, and now has a power jam as Jenny Gow takes a seat in the penalty box for 30 seconds.
Nice little rock star at the end of that to finish.
If you're going to do it with style.
Oh, that's right. And she's going to approach the back, and she's going to slam into that 2-wall.
Cutting there, called on, I think that's number 11, Parry for Team Scotland. You see the Finnish blockers now coming in, trying to work a bit of offense. Liston, who didn't play in that first game for Team Scotland, in play, tried to hold her up. Multiplayer block called. She'll take a seat in the penalty box. I think Scotland's going to start this next jam with just 2 blockers on track and no jammer.
Yeah, that was a good call. They were completely locked up, holding on to arms when she makes contact. And Pygmy, one of those who impressed us a lot out at the WFTDA European tournament just a couple of weeks ago in Malmo.
You see, this is a situation, as a blocker, you never want to find yourself in, with only one friend left with you on track.
She can get it done.
I mean, that looks like another penalty called right at the end. Brings Scotland down to, they just had one blocker on track. Now Jenny Gowtho back in play and jamming for Team Scotland. She's trying her hardest.
Oh my, you see Pygmy just flying to your screen there.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she's going to get called on that.
Yeah, that's a low block penalty called on a Pygmy at the end.
That was one of about 3 different penalties they could have called.
There could have been numerous ones assessed. We'll be nice and just give one.
Yeah.
Jenny Gow now out of the pack, completes her initial pass through. She is, as we say, on the power jam for Team Scotland, and it's Team Finland's turn to be down to just 2 blockers as well. We've literally had a reversal of how this jam started.
Yeah, and people who listen to me call games will always know that I'm going to point this out, but when you've got 3 blockers standing there with nothing to do against 2, well, why not just move them out of the way?
Exactly. Go in. I'm a firm believer in offensive blocking. It can be great. Jenny Gow kept herself on track. Nicely done as she spun round the end of Uma right at the end.
Oh, collision there. Pygmy
There's
is
just
nuts.
where is Pygmy?
Wow.
She's getting lost in a sea of white shirts underneath, but somehow she still manages to find her way to her skates and break out the front for 4 more points for Finland.
And she is definitely one of the European jammers who gets it. She's got very strong legs. You can see her just bulldoze her way through there. She's got terrific balance. Her footwork, everything screams disaster for the other team.
Exactly.
I think the inside line would have been open.
There was just a small gap there. I mean, I'm not sure how she noticed it.
Yeah, I think,
That was minuscule. That was a pinhole-sized gap.
Moses had less to work with.
Yeah, definitely. There was the parting of the White Sea, and she walked right through.
And the score reflects that. We take a look at it now. We're talking Finland up 59-33.
Yeah, 26 points of a difference and less than 5 minutes to go. I mean, this has been a quick first half.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's the company you keep.
Well, this is true, and we've got some fantastic company to keep on track, to be fair, to keep us occupied.
Exactly.
I mean, we are only playing, obviously, we're still in the first round of group games going on. There's only 20-minute halves, 40-minute games. So short break in between. To talk about short breaks, there's a break right out of the front of the pack for 156. That's Mia for Team Finland. Into the back of Simpson, trying to hold the back. This is what we've seen from Team Scotland in the first game. It's just that when they get the 4 on track and can keep the 4 on track, they work as a unit. Bianchi jamming for Team Scotland. She's out.
And as we wind up this first half, I think the I'm sorry, that's a jam clock. It's reversed.
You're close.
I was close.
Look at the other clock at the side. There we go.
That one's got more. That one's got more. Is that how it works?
One has more time. We all want more time.
You know, the one thing that Finland really brings to the table is the fact that they play against Stockholm. They play against, so frequently. The Helsinki-Stockholm matchup is a for sure on an annual basis or more. And I don't know if anybody runs a tougher defense than Stockholm.
I've seen them play, and that is just, I mean, it's literally like you're chipping away at an actual literal wall.
Yeah,
there's someone who likes chipping away at actual walls. It's number 5, I think. AM Chaos out lead jammer for Team Finland. You can see she's signaling to her team. She knows what she wants. She wants you to attack and do what we said earlier, work offensively and, help. Your blockers can make a difference as a jammer.
And in Malmo, we saw them very, very communicative as to what the jammer wants when she approaches. From a coaching standpoint or any other standpoint, that's an amazing asset. The fact that you have that kind of communication going on at all times. It's easy to say. It's incredibly difficult to get people to buy into.
It's one of those that you can tell people all you want, but whether or not they want to believe you, it's always down to the individual.
Exactly.
Looks like we're having just an official timeout now, I think, as the referees go to have a chat. So while they do that, we'll say thank you to one of our sponsors, shall we? How about Notorious RED? They get mentioned quite a lot in most games anyway. Yeah. Unfortunately for the skaters on track, because they do sponsor our penalty box here at the Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup. The sport deodorant spray for your gear and you, now supplied by Notorious RED.
And we love people that play roller derby, but they stink.
There's no getting away from that. No, unfortunately, you can literally never get away from that.
Yep. I've had my own personal experience with my own pads, and that first time around, and you're like, where's that coming from? Yeah. And it doesn't go away?
I've actually encouraged my cats.
It's your bag.
I encourage my cats to go and sleep in my skate bag because it smells better afterwards. If you want to get that sport deodorant spray, go to notoriousred.com and they can make you smell just that little bit nicer. Lawless now jamming round the outside. Quick feet from Lawless, took it to the outside line. She goes through and gets lead jammer for Team Scotland. They are starting this one on a power jam. There was a penalty called on AM Chaos, I believe, right at the end of the last jam.
And they're she's gonna get a booty block right there. They're gonna force it to the inside.
Yeah. I think that was who was it? Number 28, I believe, Nina Erwes for Team Finland. It's hi, I'm Nina. Here's my hips.
Yeah, that's right. And there we see, the kind of defense that we've been talking about.
There's no link there for a jammer to challenge and try and force a multiplayer penalty.
Yeah, and what's interesting is a lot of times something like that starts out as the blocktopus, that four-person rotating wall, but then they peel off, like you saw there.
Exactly. Lawless now still on a power jam. Unfortunately for AM Chaos, she came out of the penalty box, crashed into the back of a Team Scotland skater, back block called.
And they finally make a decision to rush, which is something, again, they probably should have done to start with.
Yep. Are we seeing... No, I thought we may have been seeing a star pass. Looks like Lawless' helmet cover may have just fallen off.
And Skinner doing an amazing job. And as you had stated before, one of those that you look at and you don't, it's we know better, but yet to this day, you see somebody of her size and stature. And you think, probably a jammer, but no, she's got all the
Lawless spin move on one skate.
Yeah.
She has 8 on her feet, but she put 4 on the floor. Tried to keep herself on, didn't quite come off.
And just as she does that, Chaos is is taken care of, knocked out of bounds by Sider.
Big hit there, McLean again with she just throws her body weight into the hit and forces people off track. It's not so much the hit, it's the impact and everything else that comes after it.
Yep.
Still on a power jam to start this one though for Team Finland. Super Maria 1-up.
Yeah, and Finland showing us what we thought we would get out of Finland. Scotland, again, a great opportunity, and certainly not squandered because we're only looking at a 22-point differential.
And as you've said before yourself as well, it's all about whether or not a team can keep the penalties down. If Scotland can keep the penalties down in the second half, it might make all the difference, because when they've had all 4 blockers on track, they have been able to hold up, maybe not stop completely, but hold up those Finland jammers.
And it looks like the time is going to run down, and it has expired.
They have indeed.
And again, you've got Smacklemore and Bob Noxious on the roll line track, and we're going to end the first half. Right now you're looking at a score 64-42. Finland over Scotland. You want to come back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, 7:40 we've got.
Yeah.
Less time. Damn, why do they always cut us short?
We've got a history. And welcome back. You are here at the roll line track with myself, Bob Noxious, sitting next to the one, the only Smacklemore.
Hi.
The two people they said they'd never put together.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, given that first half, you probably know why. While we're here, I have had some messages come through to me directly.
All right.
I have been being sent messages by people who are watching our live feed back home.
What's the feedback like?
It's been good. It's been good.
That's good.
Mainly about the action on track. They said the announcers were terrible.
Oh, okay.
But to be fair, that's
all right.
That's good. I'm used to it. No, we'll say, say hi to a couple of people. Apparently there are some people here from Dorset Roller Girls back down south.
Get out of here.
In England. There are some people here who are celebrating something special. I'll be honest, I didn't read the message properly. But M. Balmer, thank you for getting in contact. And one of our good friends, who I believe is in love with you, Valkyria, as a good friend of yours, has been in touch as well and said thanks. Anyway,
Boy, she's misguided. I'll tell you that much.
Anyway, Derby on track. What's been happening?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Finland and Scotland right now, and we're looking at a differential of 24 points as Finland leads 64-42.
And it's been a tough first half for both teams. Both teams a little bit heavy on the penalties. Scotland's probably more so than Finland, which again reflects in the scoreline, really, to be fair, is if you can keep the blockers on track, you're more likely to, be successful in holding a jammer back. That applies to every team in the world. Yeah,
but I also think it comes down to, I think Finland, having played at this level a few more times, actually quite a few more times, really, at least maybe not the same players, but as a concept. they came out. They were fifth out of 15 teams last time around.
Yep.
That was staggering. That was amazing to us. And of course, that program has done nothing but continue to grow and blossom.
Yeah, I mean, Finland are still growing as a team, and yet to already be at the stage they're at now and be as successful as they are now is a credit to everyone involved with the Finnish national team.
And we're going to get started here. Smack, why don't you take it away?
Who do we have jamming so far? Team Finland, it's Mia, number 156. She's starting this one on a power jam. Lawless called on a penalty at the end of the last jam in the first half for Team Scotland. Still, now see, this is what we were saying earlier on. If the four can work, that's what they can do.
Yep.
Ouch, what a hit. I think that was 11 Parry who just decked Mia. Straight back on her skates though. Mia's through and takes a lead jammer for Team Finland.
Yeah, Lawless caught up there and she's going to power way through. You see Mia come back in. Look at that. Look at that shoulder she throws.
Lawless has tried, I believe she has now completed a star pass to number 28, Bianchi for Team Scotland.
And Lawless going to get called. I was going to say that was a pretty vicious shot.
But we've now got a power jam for Bianchi, number 156. And Mia now swap round power jam reversal. It's in Scotland's favour. In fact, I'm saying that's Bianchi. I'm lying. That's Skinner. I apologise, number 85.
First time we've seen Skinner jamming, though, in this game.
She didn't jam at all in Scotland's first game. She worked exclusively as a blocker, but when she can do that as a jammer, you wonder why she's not wearing the stars more often.
Well, it also goes to show why she's so effective blocking.
Her footwork is insanely good. For someone of her build, she can move quicker than the wind sometimes. Coming back in, and now you can see it. Mia has been released from the notorious RED penalty box.
Yeah, you can see her coming in.
Crashes into the back of Sider, legally down the side, puts her on the floor.
Yeah, and of course we both know that, legal or not, that type of contact from the jammer is always kind of walking a line as far as whether or not you're going to risk penalty call.
You run the risk. If a referee sees it, there's a strong chance you may get called on a penalty because the referee's angle is different every single time.
Yep.
You have to make sure you're doing things as close as you can to the contact zones, otherwise you're going to risk that penalty.
And so we see Finland now 66, Scotland 52 as this edges closer and closer.
Yeah, they've cut it down. It was a 22-point difference at the start of the jam. They've cut that down to just 14 now.
My math tells me that would be fewer points.
Yes,
deficit.
they've taken some off.
Okay, that's good.
I think. Jenny Cow now, number 1-1 jamming, and a power jam to start off for Team Scotland. Looks like a penalty was assessed at the end of the last jam. Jenny Gow still, she's not feeling the effects of that hit in the first game against Team Mexico. I don't understand.
Oh, and there we see a shot to the head.
Well, you see, Jenny Gow is being recycled all the way back, but she has already got lead jammer. So although she's back and coming through on what looks like still her initial pass is done, and she is lead jammer. And again, back into play, 156 Mia for the third time in a row, back into the notorious RED penalty box.
Yeah, she's not only racked them up here right now. It's not very good times for Team Finland, but she's probably starting to push the limits.
Well, this is what's allowing Team Scotland to come back and cut that deficit down. It's not so much that the blocking has been stronger in this half. It's unfortunately for Team Finland, their jammer just can't stay out of the penalty box just now. Jenny Gow takes a hit and goes down on the inside line. Tries to call it right. I think her jam ref was confused as to why she was standing so close. That's why he couldn't see the call off. He was just too close. They're not used to it. Why is my jammer almost on top of my feet? I can't see what's going on. Oh wait, she's calling it. Okay, I'll blow the whistle now.
I guess there is a point of, having too much attentiveness in your job, huh?
I mean, jam refs have to be very aware, obviously, of where their jammer is. But when they're that close to you, it can't always be easy to see everything, unfortunately.
And we want to say thanks to Sure Grip Skate Company, sponsor of Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup.
Yeah, we've now got Rogue, number 210, jamming for Team Scotland, but the power jam's over. 156, Mia is back in play. Liston tries to just turn and front block to her. didn't come off effectively. Parry picked up where she left off and forced Mia off to the outside. Recycles her back about 30 feet from where she was.
I think she parried her.
She did. She parried. But Mia doesn't care about that, to be fair. She's straight back up. Comes back in, gets herself in play, goes through and takes lead. Jammer, Rogue closely following her behind, completes her initial pass out through the pack.
And part of it becomes, at what point do you tell Mia to kind of take the assertiveness, the edge off?
Well,
because she's playing incredibly aggressively, but that the lead is no longer
exactly
what it was.
It's been cut down. We're now at 11 points,
yeah.
56 to Scotland, Finland on 67, and there's still just under 15 minutes left to play in this half.
Yep.
To cut the deficit down to within, almost 10 already says a lot. But then now we have what was one of probably Finland's strongest jammers in the first half, Pygmy.
Yeah.
She made a difference for Finland. She helped
Yep.
open up that gap.
Well, and the thing is, we haven't seen her thrown out there very many times.
Oh, crashes through the front of McLean, really.
Yep.
And she's through round the outside, takes lead at Jammer.
And McLean's going to remove herself from the track.
I think she may have had a penalty issued by one of the referees. Yeah, Jenny Gow. She's now completed her initial pass out of the pack.
Yeah, I think she might have had the wind knocked out of her.
Yeah, you can see, although McLean's taking a seat, she is suffering a little bit for that. You can see it.
Well, we're going to see ourselves a new jammer out there.
Indeed, Subotex, who we haven't seen. To be fair, I'm not sure we've seen much of on track at all.
No.
In that entire first half. So not only she's just coming in as a jammer now, she's just coming into the game altogether.
Yeah, I believe so.
You can see her and Bianchi just trying to sort of jostle for position at the back. Bianchi not wanting to give away any space, trying to force her where she wants her to go down her side for the blockers.
I tell you, I thought Bianchi was going to spring free, and you can see the frustration there.
Bianchi's lost her helmet cover, and she doesn't know.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh no, and a referee he signaled lead jam. It's gone. There's a bit of confusion going on there. Bianchi now allowed, she can skate in any direction she wants to come and pick up that helmet cover. McLean, you see, back in play as well. She tries to give her a bit of a hand at the back. Bianchi would have had lead jammer if she'd still had that cover on her head. She lost it. Lead jammer was gone, but there you go. That's what she does. Back up, clears her way through. Subotex does the smart thing, calls the jam off. You have to feel for jammers in that situation, Bob.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, there's nothing to physically tell you that it's missing. Although she did kind of reach up when she came out of that pack, and it looked like she may have thought it had come off, but didn't see it.
It's so difficult. I mean, you could think that thing's as secure as you want to. All it takes is a jerk of the head in the wrong direction, and it can still just ping off.
Yep.
And before you know it, that's it. You've lost all the benefits that you had. Jenny Gow now jamming for Team Scotland through. How she kept herself on track there, I have no idea.
And this...
jammer on jammer.
Yep. Pygmy got her.
Yep, you can see Pygmy's not sure. She thinks...
Well, I think it was a little confusing because I think
they were expecting a track cut penalty to be called on Jenny Gow. She got knocked off, came back in front of Pygmy, called the jam off, but... the referees weren't entirely sure of what was it, but the referees haven't assessed any penalties, so...
No, I thought they had signaled it, but...
Yeah, I think all we got was whistles to call the jam. Okay. Subotex now back in, jamming again for Team Finland, up against Lawless. That's F104 in the white for Team Scotland.
Oh,
Liston, look at that, that's almost identical skaters, height and build.
Yep. You want to talk about a near pancake block.
Lawless back in play, manages to get herself through, kept on track somehow round the inside line and took lead jammer for Team Scotland. Subotex struggling a bit harder against this four-wall from Scotland.
And Lawless using everything she's got, the strength in her legs to try to power through.
She has a lot of power. She's got a low center of gravity as well, so if she can drop her weight down, she just powers through.
And we've got
Liston.
Yep.
Yeah, Liston now making her way to the notorious RED penalty box. That's number 69 for Team Scotland.
And as well as...
Subotex tries. She kept herself up. Did she stay up? She's not sure, so she does the smart thing. That's what you like to see from jammers. Don't risk the penalty. If you think you've gone off, just take yourself back, because you can be more effective on track than you can seated in the penalty box.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where, because she came back in and landed on her knees, if she skids across, she's still okay.
Yep.
But wasn't quite sure.
Just do the sensible thing and keep going the way you can. Lawless, meanwhile, forced off again down to the inside. She'll be recycled back. And it looks like number 28 this time, Nina Ervez for Team Finland. Has 2 blockers into the penalty box, brings them down to 2, and as that gap clears up, allows Lawless to get through. 5 points for Team Scotland.
And Subotek's really doing the job here.
Subotek is struggling at the back to get through. She just seems to be coming up against a different blocker each time for Team Scotland.
But she's been effective in just putting a handful of points on the board.
Yep, Lawless again through there for another 5 points, another grand slam for Team Scotland, and that again just helps ease and pick away at that score and that lead that Finland have. Now down to just a 9-point difference, 71 to Scotland, 80 to Finland, and we've got just under 10 minutes left to go in this half. I mean, again, it just seems to be same as we said with the first half. It just seems to be the penalties that are making a difference to both teams here, Bob.
Yeah, although it doesn't really seem like it's heavily tipped one way more than the other.
No, it's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, I would say that's a very astute assessment, my friend.
It's not often people say things like that about me.
I know. I figured
unless it's a judge.
Right. Oh, man.
Now, thank you again to one more of our sponsors while the referees have a quick chat on the inside there. Fast Girl Skates. You can go to them at fastgirlskates.com, serving skaters of all shapes and sizes since 2007.
There you go.
Which was before I was even involved in Derby. Can you believe that?
Oh, I thought you were going to say before you were born.
Well, thanks for thinking I look that young.
To
be fair, I probably started growing this beard in 2007.
Well, it's not before I got started. It's
I'm learning from the master.
We're going to figure out what the cumulative experience is here at the World Cup for announcers. And I have a feeling that myself, Chip Queso, Val Capone, and Kool-Aid are going to tip the scales.
I will bring it back down. Myself and Piggy Fatness, I believe, will bring that right the way back down.
Those kids learn fast. And Pitney coming back out. I think that would be a good strategic move for Finland when they've needed somebody to put a point or two up on the board and at least buy them some time, as the clock right now is Scotland's enemy as much as the point differential is.
Yeah. You can see here now we've got, you might be able to hear this coming through on your feed, we've got dueling chants going from the crowds. Yep. One going Finland, one going Scotland. This is what we love about tournaments like this. It's not just the action we see on track, it's the atmosphere that's created in the crowds. It's insane.
It's very difficult to describe to people, or to get people to believe you sometimes when you tell them, well, watch the World Cup on television. It's the football or soccer World Cup. And translate that over to roller derby, because that's essentially what it's like.
The crowd here, I kid you not, for those who do watch soccer, is bigger than you will find at some sort of first division and championship games back in the UK. I kid you not, the crowds are bigger here than you'll get down there.
Well, and the thing is, it's a different energy level. I mean, people come from such great distances to support their teams. And, you know, even just pulling up to the hotel last night and walking through the lobby and hearing 4 or 5 different languages being spoken at once, it's just really an amazing experience, life experience, much less derby experience.
As the review's over, we now get ready to get this next jam and carry on with the second half. We've got Pygmy, as you mentioned, Bob, jamming for Team Finland against Rogue for Team Scotland.
And look at Pygmy go. She is through that back.
Indeed, she is. She's not starting this one on a power jam. It looks like that's what Finland were looking for with the official review. They were looking for a track cut to be called on Scotland's jammer. No call was made, as we discussed. That no call still stands. The referees couldn't confirm whether or not a foul was committed. No call made. The no call stands.
Yeah, we saw just for a second there, only backs up. It looks like she was going to open up the inside line. Didn't quite appear as fast as I wanted to. She calls the jam off.
Never there when you need them, Bob.
Well, and at this point, it's a defensive stalemate.
It is. I mean, we're at 11 points of a difference now between the two teams. And, I mean, we knew these two would be evenly matched coming into this game. We knew it wasn't going to be, one of the most high-scoring games of the tournament. But this is just
doesn't
proven
matter.
it. Exactly.
Not at all.
Some of the action that we're seeing, the defense from both teams on track just now is crazy, as is that footwork from Super Maria. One up, one-way round, spins around the outside line, gets lead jammer for Team Finland. Jenny Gow now out, number 11-11 for Team Scotland. Super Maria into the back. Legally, again, it would seem. Didn't quite call it off quick enough. It looks like Jenny Gow managed to get 1 point on the board there for Team Scotland before that one was over.
Well, and this is one of those games where every point's going to make a difference.
It is. I mean, still 3 up on the. Oh no, they've changed. I think they've brought it back down to nothing. I think.
Yeah, it looks like they've adjusted the scoreboard.
Yeah, just a quick check.
We're looking at a score of 85-71.
Yeah, seven and a bit minutes left to go in this game. Pygmy again back in.
They're riding the back of Pygmy right now.
Yeah, Bianchi drawing for Team Scotland, and you can see that Finland a wall. I mean, Bianchi's trying to push, but there's nothing she can do.
When you're up against 3 or 4 people that are very well coordinated in what they're doing.
Yeah, Tina Bianchi again.
Oh, there we go. And there's, that's what you like to see. The blockers came back, sealed the outside of the track off, and gave her a nice inside lane. That's
something that Kerr for Team Scotland has been a master at so far in the tournament itself.
We saw there an awkward fall. And you can see on your screen,
looks
that
like
is Una, who is favoring one side.
Yeah, just struggling a bit to put as much weight as she'd like on that left side. You can see, I think it's her knee she's taken out a little bit as she took a twist and turn. Team timeout now being called by Scotland, I believe. Yep, we can see now where the jam timer's pointing. Once he points, we know that we're okay.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot less, sort of penalties going on now, and you can see again the difference it's making to the teams on track.
Yeah,
it's just, if they can keep, I've said this for years, if teams can just keep all their skaters on track, you're more likely to actually win the game.
Funny how that works. Huh?
It seems like the most obvious thing in the world, but it's true. It's never going to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, I think really a lot of it comes down to the fact that you have to convince people that they don't have to win the game for you. They just need to play it the way that you have it drawn up. I mean, that's something that makes Gotham so special.
Yeah, definitely.
People they'll talk about Gotham and Gotham this and Gotham that and the athletes and everything else, and I always point and I look and say, look at the discipline. People have a role, they play the role. Nobody's out there to win the game for you.
Yeah.
They're out there to play the game plan they came in with.
Exactly. We've had a half-time score passed to us for now. I believe we've got England-Spain going on in one of the other tracks here at the Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup. England leading 124-17 at half-time.
And I would say that's a pretty nice game for Spain.
Definitely. Lawless now jamming for Team Scotland. Forced off just a little on the inside, steps back in. Still trying to make her way through. Never mind, it's lead jammer again.
Look at that. A fumbled star pass. And what's Lawless going to do? She's got to put it back on her head.
That was
the only alternative she had.
See, the Team Scotland blockers there got caught up trying to work out what was happening as well on the track. Super Maria takes advantage, goes through. Easy as you like around the inside line. Liston with a shoulder. What a hit.
Didn't quite. In fact, it was the footwork that prevented the track cut. But yeah, the momentum was going to carry her out of bounds. I believe they call it inertia, my friend.
I believe they do. Science, as well as English was never my strong point, to be brutally fair.
No, I just know Scrabble.
I get Scrabble champion.
Yeah.
Lawless now back in. You can see she tried to set for a bit of jammer on jammer. Lawless is tiring now as it goes.
Super Maria looks like she's juking and jiving and having some fun.
Right now she is just the happiest guy. She is the happiest person in the world. Ow, apart from bouncing into the back of Cider. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. But somehow she's back up. Super Maria still going. Lawless now at last finds a gap around the inside line for Team Scotland.
Well, and this is really a matter of awareness at this point as we're taking a look at them.
Oh, a big crash and burn in the middle as well.
I mean, they're running long jams and just peeling the clock down.
Yeah.
And they've done that so effectively that Scotland is now in a scenario where they've got maybe one last gasp left in them, or enough time for that.
Well, that's a 38-point difference we've got now with around 4 minutes left to go. 39 now, sorry, if it just didn't have that one on.
Well, 6 minutes ago we were talking about 11-point difference.
Exactly, and that's the difference that one strong jam can make.
Yeah. And this is not the kind of game where we have seen big jams out of people.
Definitely not. Oh, the whistles had gone. The skaters are still going, but it looks like the referees have called it. You love when that happens because the referees look at each other saying, who called it? Did we call this for a reason? Yes, we did.
Okay.
We were missing a jam ref. We do need 2 of those to make sure a game can go ahead.
Poor refrigerator. He goes over to make sure he's got the points clear with the people that are the scorekeepers over here. And in the meantime, they forgot about him.
They just completely forgot.
It's like my parents when they used to take me to the big malls.
It's like my parents now.
Yeah.
Not even when they take me to a mall. It's just my parents now. He is back in now for the refrigerator. Yes, we can carry on the game.
Sounds like
you
and I are going to have the same Christmas. Huh?
Definitely.
Yeah, because Santa still comes to my house.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. Where do you think I got the red jacket from? All right, we see Pygmy out there. Pygmy, I think they ought to change the name on the back to Warrior.
Where has she gone? She was literally down on all fours at one point now.
I know.
Rogue at number 210 for Team Scotland. You can see that Finland wall, I've said it time and again, they just will not give an inch. There is no multiplayer block for Rogue to challenge. They're dropping the shoulders, linked together, totally legally, and Pygmy takes advantage. She goes through and gets another lead jammer for Finland. Yeah. Round the outside, ducks low for 5 points and a grand slam for the Finns.
And I tell you, that might have been the last nail in the coffin right there, my friend.
I think it definitely seems that way. Liston just misses a block. There's a big height difference between those 2 skaters. Pygmy takes full advantage of the fact she's just that little bit lower down. Ducks round.
But look at it's fun.
She ducks underneath the arms.
I mean, the thing that I love about her, she's got all the skills. She brings a complete package, but she's scrappy.
Oh, what a hip check from Liston. Pygmy went to go around the outside. She faked to come inside. Liston didn't buy it, dropped the hips. Yep. Booty checked her right off the outside line.
Liston doing a lot. Look at Pygmy once again. I think she'd go under legs if she had the opportunity between them.
I think she can, but it looks like as she tried to hold the back there, Liston will take a seat in the notorious RED penalty box now. Pygmy once again out through the front.
She looks over to the sideline as you saw in your picture there.
Rogue tries a little spin, or just checks her helmet there as well, Pygmy. Yes, I still have the cover on. Rogue is struggling to get anything from this Finland defense. They're just constantly heavy.
Yeah, and Pygmy right now, knowing that she's got control of the situation, she's working the clock like she should.
Yeah, running it down, stepping back, taking her time, and then calling the jam just as Rogue approaches. 2 more points on the board for Team Finland, and a clean sheet at the back, nothing conceded.
And quite honestly, that was a scenario where Rogue should have come in hot. She should have been on the gas to try to force that call quicker.
Put your foot down and accelerate. I mean, I know they always say don't accelerate into the back of a pack or a wall because there's a strong chance you're going to foul someone. But on your approach to it, give the blockers something to think about.
And there's the one thing I've also noticed throughout the tournament as well is there's a number of teams that are playing for the first time where the people who are taking penalties.
Jenny Gow somehow hopped over. Sorry, Bob.
No,
she saw a leg come out. She could have taken a low block from it if she'd skated through, but instead thought, no, I'll just jump over the leg instead. Why not? And take lead jammer for Team Scotland.
But there's been a common theme in lack of urgency to get to the penalty box.
Yeah. Again, I think we've experienced the announcer curse because we now see Parry making her way. And originally, when we said that, she accelerated.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to say things more often.
I guess it depends on how you think you're going to influence the game.
True.
We don't have nearly as much influence as we think sometimes.
We don't make as much sense as we think sometimes either, to be brutally honest.
I've never really thought that.
Well, I'll give you that. Jenny Gow recycled all the way back. You can see Liston drops the shoulder again. Oh!
She is.
Ow! Liston dropped her own shoulder and forces Super Maria off track. She then took a shoulder herself to the sternum as she tried to recycle her back and hit the floor. As a result, she now takes a seat in the penalty box herself.
Not only that, but she's living up to the family name, isn't she?
She is. Yeah, there's no denying that.
You see Liston and you immediately think historically honored heavyweight champion.
Exactly.
In the boxing ring, and sure enough, Sonny Liston.
I was going to say Sonny would be proud.
She must be channeling him, because man, she is just dropping people like 3-foot putts.
I mean, again, for someone of her build, she strikes you as, and to be honest, when she's jamming, which she does for her home team, she strikes you as this agile, nimble, I'm going to jump, but for someone of her build, she hits hard.
It's unbelievable what we have seen her do out there today.
It's crazy, a big hitter. And it looks like we've got a team timeout going now, I think, for Team Scotland, I believe.
It's got to be.
So while they do that, we'll remind you about one of our other sponsors, S1 Helmets, which is always greatly appreciated. S1 have sponsored, they're basically the helmet supplier for 90% of the teams here at the Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup this year.
And we've also got Bont on board. I want to say thanks to them.
Indeed.
And Rumbling Rage Derby Shop.
We've got noise. We've got noise. This is what I love about this game, Bob.
Yep.
And Chaos now, number 5, jamming for Team Finland. Rogue back in on the jam line for Team Scotland. Rogue again, she's trying to get her shoulder into that gap. It's not happening, and Chaos goes through first and takes lead jammer. She gets through, sees the clock.
And that's the end of your game.
She sees the clock. Now Rogue has a bit of urgency going to the penalty box.
Well, the time has expired according to the clock that we're looking at. And I think it's finally been passed along to everybody on the track. And we're going to see a victory lap here. I tell you, it's a pretty easy one to break down, my friend. It was we saw two very similar styles go up against one another. It was just the battering aggressiveness of Pygmy and Mia out there that really seemed to make the difference.
I think the defensive strength of Team Finland really showed in this match.
Yep.
They were so strong. As a unit, they just would not give Scotland an inch, and it paid off to full effect. Team Finland, I mean, they are the winners. It looks like 126 to 78, and that makes a big difference to Finland in this group. Yeah. Coming out first in your group, if you can avoid, others in the next draw, it gives you a big advantage going into the rest of the weekend, and Team Finland have done it.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to see the teams here take their victory laps.
Indeed they are. Who have we got up next on this track, Bob? I believe it's, there's this Columbia I see in front of me.
It would appear so.
I'm not entirely sure. Well, either way, it doesn't matter who's on track, because to be fair, it's going to be some awesome derby action regardless.
That's right. And it really was. We get to the consolation bouts tomorrow. Towards the end of the day, we start to see pairings that are going to be very evenly matched in many cases. So You don't want to tune out now. You don't want to tune out tomorrow. And then it only heats up as the weekend progresses.
You don't want to tune out until you don't have a choice and it switches off on you. Stay here until Monday at the very latest.
Yeah, follow Smacklemore's advice. Pay your internet bill, and you will get to watch Derby.
Quite right too. Well, that's been it from us. I've been Smacklemore, as you said, and the man to my left, Bob Noxious. Bob, it's been a pleasure as always.
Absolutely great to see you and everybody that's come out here, and we'll bid ourselves adieu.
Adios.